Today I wanted to take a closer look at the list that leaked from Toys R Us that shows us a lot of the figures that we'll be getting in the first few waves. There are going to be two segments of this video. The first, I'm just going to go through and clarify what each item on the list is, and then we're going to talk a little bit more logistics and dates and that sort of thing. So, to start off, we'll cover up everything that is not Skylanders related. Now you'll see at the top of the list, we have the 5 starter packs. These are just the standard starter packs, one for each of the 5 systems that we're getting it for this year. Below that, you can see the 2 Crash Edition starter packs for the PS3 and PS4. Next, we have a long alphabetical list of single pack characters. Now, there's a couple things to note here. I'm not going to spend too much time on them right now, but we will come back to them in a minute. Once we get down to the bottom of this list, down here below Wolfgang, we have a Skylanders Imaginator mystery chest. These are the little chests that we've seen before that come in bronze, silver, and gold. As you can see, though, there is only one listing for them, and that's because we have found out they come in blind bags. So there's only one listing for them. They're all going to be in the same box, and we're going to have to see how easy or hard it is to get particular ones. Below that, you have the Skylanders Imaginator's Creation Crystal Assortment. This is a little disconcerting because it appears that all of the creation crystals are going to come in assortments. This is very similar to what we saw with the traps, but this year it seems a little bit odd to put these creation crystals in an assortment as opposed to shipping them individually by element. But that's the way it seems to be. So we're just going to have to figure that out as we get closer to the release. Below that, you'll see we have 2 adventure packs. The first one is the Observatory Adventure Pack, which we know is the Griffin Park Observatory. That's coming out in Wave 1. The next one is the Treehouse Adventure Pack. Now, we didn't know too much about this adventure pack before. We know that this adventure pack is scheduled for Wave 3. We know that it includes Boom Bloom and an air creation crystal. And now we know it has something to do with a treehouse, which would make sense since Boom Bloom is a life character. Now, I'm guessing Treehouse isn't the full name because, as you can see in this listing, Observatory is all that's listed, and we know it's the Griffin Park Observatory, so it's probably the something treehouse or something treehouse. In any case, that's another adventure pack that we're expecting. Below this, we have 2 legendary characters. We have legendary Tri-Tip and legendary Pit Boss. We've gotten glimpses of both of these characters. We do have the figure shot of Tri-Tip, while we only have the in-game shot of Pit Boss, but they are coming, and as I've mentioned a few times already, they have changed up the color scheme of the legendary figures this year, so don't let that confuse you. The legendary figures this year will be sporting a red and gold color scheme as opposed to the typical dark blue and gold. It's just a decision they made this year because I think it's because so many of the characters they have created, their standard colors are either dark blue and gold or black and gold. It got really confusing with the legendary color scheme, so they decided to switch it up this year and make it red and gold. Below that, then, we have the Chaos figure. Now, once again, I think this is just in their system because they're going to have it on hand and they need to keep track of it. This is their inventory system. and so they need to have a way to keep track of it. But I don't expect to see this on shelves, or if we do, it'll just be leftovers from pre-orders. It's not going to be a full stock of Chaos figures, so keep that in mind. If you want Chaos, you can get them for free as long as you pre-order one of the starter packs. And then below that, we have another variant. This one that we've kind of pieced together. It's listed here as CC Chopscotch. Now, we've seen a variant Chopscotch that was referenced as Halloween Chopscotch, which I told you earlier that I didn't think that was the actual name of the figure, which it turns out it's not. If we piece that together with this screenshot from another foreign site, we find out that the Halloween Chopscotch is going to be named Candy Coated Chopscotch, which once again falls in line with the CC Chopscotch listed here. So that's the big group of Skylanders, but if you look down at the bottom of this list, we have one more that's kind of separated from the list. Not entirely sure why, but Dr. Crankcase is down in the bottom. That's just his single pack. So something to keep an eye on. I don't think there's anything special about it. It's just, for whatever reason, did not get lumped together with the rest of them. So back to the main list of single pack characters. Not all of these are Wave 1 figures. However, as you can see on the left of this list, they're all listed for October 16th. Now, the problem is this isn't just a list of Wave 1 and Wave 2 figures. This also has some Wave 3 figures in this list. And that makes it really confusing because this would be way too much to come out on day one. Now, there's a couple of scenarios here that could be taking place, and it's a little too early to tell exactly what's going on, but these are my thoughts. As I explained in a previous video, Wave 1 and Wave 2 at Toys R Us typically come out very close to each other. Depending on your store, sometimes they even put them out on the same day, but that's not exactly how it's supposed to happen. In any case, we have seen Wave 1 and Wave 2 come out very close to the launch. But Wave 3 would be pushing it a bit much because Wave 3 doesn't typically come out until Christmas time. End of December or middle of December, somewhere a couple months down the road. So even though Toys R Us does get early releases, this would be a bit too early in my opinion. In any case, I want to break down this list a little bit and show you what we're looking at for Wave 1, Wave 2, Wave 3, and we'll go from there. So from this list, we are expecting Ambush, Barbella, Chopscotch, Dr. Crankcase, Taekwon Crow, and Wolfgang to be the Wave 1 single pack figures. Wave 2 then should include Aurora, Ember, Mysticat, Starcast, Tri-Tip, and Hoodsicle. For Wave 3, I wasn't even expecting all of the rest of these. I was only expecting to see Buckshot, Chain Reaction, Flare Wolf, Pit Boss, and Bad Juju. But it looks like there may be either a few extras included in Wave 3, or we just have listings for practically the entire release. This isn't quite all the figures, but it is a large percentage of them. So there's a few things that could be happening with this list. There is a small possibility that Toys R Us might get an early release of all of these figures, and they'll put them out at launch or very close to launch, but that won't be the full wave. They will get them restocked later when the main wave comes out to all the other stores. But like I said, I don't think that's very likely. I think what's more likely is that whoever is in charge of putting this list together for Toys R Us internally got the huge list of Skylanders for this year or this year and next year, however you want to look at it, and they wanted to put them all in the system, and they looked up release dates, and the only release date they had for Skylanders Imaginators was October 16th, and therefore listed all of these figures for October 16th. It is not unheard of for these dates to change on this list. We saw it personally just a couple months ago with Skylanders Battlecast. I think that had maybe 3 different release dates before it actually came out. But I've been talking with some Toys R Us employees, some Toys R Us managers, and it is not unheard of for these dates to change. So I think as we get closer to the release, or maybe not even until after the release, when not all these products come out right away, we will see some of these dates change. That is my best guess right now, but anything can happen. Activision is changing things up from year to year. We know they have a very good relationship with Toys R Us, and anything's possible at this point. As for Dr. Crankcase being listed on October 19th, I honestly have to believe that was just a typo. There's no reason for one figure to be released 3 days later than the rest of them, especially one that we are fully expecting to be released in Wave 1 on the 16th. So I do think that one is just a typo, but we'll see if these dates change. We are tracking these dates, and I'll let you know if anything else comes up. That's all I got for you guys today. Enjoy.